welcome to Portsmouth This Week. I'm Jenn Little, your host, and we put together this program under the direction of your Portsmouth Town Administrator, Rich Rayner. And together we build community through information that is delivered accurately and timely about events and activities that impact your daily life. And we go past the scroll and we bring the personalities and the leadership straight to you. And today I have the honor of having State Representative Terri Cortvriend here today. Hi, Terri, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
Good, I'm so glad to hear that.
Happy to be here.
It's very nice to have you here. So Terri, what's going on? We're about mid-session right now with the legislative session, and so any new breaking news or anything interesting that's going on?
Well, we had a lot of pomp and circumstance yesterday in the chamber because Speaker Shekarchi stepped down and Leader Blazewski became the new speaker. So that doesn't always happen mid-session, so that was pretty exciting to be in the room for yesterday.
So that was completely a surprise? Was it a surprise?
People knew the Speaker Shekarchi was thinking about putting his name in to be a Supreme Court justice. We just didn't know exactly when, and nobody was saying anything, it was tight under wraps.
Well,
we all knew it might happen, but...
Well, that's breaking news. I'm glad I asked that question. That's really exciting.
Yes.
And so with that being said, what other kinds of things are you going over right now? Because you do sit on the Finance Committee, correct?
Right. We've gone through the governor's budget. We just went through one of his budget amendments this past week, Wednesday, on his energy proposals under his affordability program. I think it's part of his campaign.
Sure.
And that's been, he has a whole section in his budget on affordability, and this was the part on energy in particular.
Very interesting,
Yes.
Considering how the cost of inflation and everything that we're going through here, having that be part of what you are looking at on a daily basis is very important.
Yes.
What other types of things are going on? I know you're very active with the housing.
Well, the House has been Yes, the House has been active on housing. That has been Speaker Shekarchi's priority for the chamber since he's been there. So I think 6 years now. So I do not sit on municipal government, which is where most of the housing bills go, but we have passed every session for the last 3 or 4 years. We've had a package of housing bills. And I think he said in his remarks yesterday, his closing remarks as Speaker, that we had passed 60 housing bills.
Oh, wow.
So now we know, well, maybe we don't know, I know that many of the town councils around the state feel like we have put a lot on them in a very short period of time. We do have a housing commission. Chairwoman Speakman chairs that commission, and she has worked with planners across the state and housing advocates and lenders, and I don't sit on that study commission, so I'm not sure who all's on there, but there has been a vetting of these bills, but I think downstream at the local level, I think people feel like it's been a lot coming fast.
Right.
But at the same time, right here on Aquidneck Island, the chamber has just done an analysis, and based on incoming jobs that we know are coming to the island, the Coast Guard is sending 2 more cutters here.
Oh, wow.
And
how many jobs does that look like coming to the
well,
island?
those jobs are on the ships. They already exist, but the people are coming.
Right.
And NOAA is building a new building down at Newark, so we're going to get new people in under NOAA.
Mm-hmm.
And Erin Donovan Boyle, at the chamber. Mm-hmm. We had a housing panel that I put together with her, and we had the speaker, and we had Sean Brown from Middletown, and we had NOAA. And we had Tim Del Giudice from Raytheon because they have expressed a need for housing. So we had a panel discussion, and there was a lot of business members of the business community that attended. It was open to the public, but that's who showed up by and large. And the chamber put out their analysis, and they are saying that we need like 9,000 homes over the next 10 years.
9,000 homes. And is that, and I just have to let that kind of settle in, 9,000 homes. When you think about maybe the population, in Bristol alone is 20,000, or Portsmouth.
Yes, so maybe it was housing for 9,000 people.
That makes sense.
Yeah, that sounds a little more reasonable. They do have this program. This is on their website now, and but it's a lot of housing that we don't have.
Yes,
we cannot. Businesses have trouble attracting employees because people can't afford to live here. We know the affordability for housing is off the charts.
Absolutely.
I know my own daughter could not afford to stay in Portsmouth. She does not live in Portsmouth. She lives elsewhere in the state. Because it was too expensive on the island.
So that must have been a very productive gathering, and a lot of insights were shared, I'm sure, from all the communities. It sounds like it was very
we tried
well attended.
To get, representation from every community so that we could hear from everyone.
And then you take that back because you are working with the legislators.
Well, I wanted the speaker to come to somewhere on the island to just explain his rationale and motivation for why we have why we have prioritized this and why we have been moving this legislation. So that was my intent of to just provide, we've heard from the council how they were feeling overwhelmed, and I just wanted to be able to provide the other side of, the balance of both sides of the argument or the issue.
That's right. It makes sense. And knowing that there were 60 bills passed, what time?
Over a time period.
I was wanting to ask.
Yeah, like 4 or 5 years.
Okay, right. So the timing was right to pull everybody together so that they could come to understand why the urgency.
Yes.
It's valid.
And it's valid based on what the chamber's analysis said.
Sure. That's really, really helpful.
Yeah.
Moving on to other bills that are of interest and things that are interesting. I saw something about a Taylor Swift tax. Tell me a little bit about that.
That was in the governor's budget last year, and it is a property tax on homes over $800,000 that are not owner occupied. And so we were trying to not burden homeowners in the property that they live in with an additional tax. But that's a property tax, and that's the first time the state has been collecting property tax. And I know there has been concern and maybe some unintended consequences when you embark on something new. We've heard from homeowners that fit in that category, but their home's not winterized, for instance, so they can't live there year round. And it's 183 days is the requirement to be considered full-time and be exempt from the tax. So people are scrambling around trying to find, electric bills and different things ways to prove to the Division of Taxation whether they are residents or not residents. And so, I have heard from some community members, and basically they are not necessarily full-time residents, but they're trying to say that they
figure out how they can get under that 183 day or somehow
or
adjust.
To be a voter or to be, there's like a series of And now the Division of Taxation is setting up their regulations. So you kind of, sometimes you have to watch to see, do the regulations fit the statute? And,
absolutely.
Sometimes we pass something broad, and then when the details come out, you go, oh, maybe that's not, we might have to tweak that. Or
And something tells me that Taylor Swift is not announced about this. She's not spending any time on this.
That's just the name that has
catchy
stuck
marketing.
with it.
Somebody in marketing created that.
Yes,
it was very
yes.
smart, very smart.
So the coastal communities have been getting together, reps from the coastal communities, and have been working on that, talking to each other. There's a couple of lobbyists involved that are working with us, and we have met with Speaker Shekarchi, I think a week ago, last Friday, to bring this issue to his attention, and with the town, with a lot of town managers.
Oh, sure. Oh, sure. Anything else that you see that you've been talking about at the State House and working on that would affect this community in particular that you can think of in terms of, I think another tax, was there a military tax or?
There was. That was in a previous year. We got rid of the tax on military pensions, and that was very popular.
Yes.
And this, in the governor's budget proposal, we're increasing the amount of Social Security that won't be taxed. That's in the proposal. Now we'll have to see what actually comes out of finance, and we're not there yet. We don't have a budget built yet. We're still we're hearing bills now. We've gone through the governor's budget, and like I said, we addressed one of his budget amendments this week, and then we're hearing many bills submitted by legislators on a variety of topics. Either we had the millionaires tax this week, last night, which I told you.
I'd love to
well,
learn a little
I
bit
did
more
not
about that.
hear. I have to tell you, I didn't hear all the testimony because I had a family issue this week.
Which we'll get to in a
we'll
little
get to
bit.
that.
It's a happy thought, so we'll save that till the end.
Yes, so I did not hear all the testimony, but I am told there was quite a big crowd, and in the governor's budget proposal right now is a millionaire's tax, which is people earning over $1 million. There'll be a new tax rate for the income over $1 million.
Okay.
Now, there was a competing bill that's been in the legislature for a few years that's taxing the 1%, and that is a lower threshold. That's, I think, around $650,000, where that's where the line would be for the new tax rate. Okay. And so that's what was heard last night amongst many. There was probably at least 20 bills on.
And you've been on the state legislature, I think I read, since 2019?
Yes, that's when I was sworn in.
Okay, and so you've seen these issues kind of come up and then be reworked, and you just mentioned a couple bills, so I'm sure even with like last night's testimony, it adds to a history of testimony around these types of issues.
Well, that one bill, the millionaires tax, that's been, or the 1%, that's been out there for a while, but this year it's more prominent because of actions taken at the federal level with the One Big Beautiful Bill. That has resulted in millions of dollars of lost aid that came to the state.
Right.
And so in the governor's proposal with the millionaire's tax, that's bringing in $63 million, but that is just really filling in holes left by cuts to Medicaid, cuts to SNAP, other federal programs.
Oh my goodness,
And
it's a lot of numbers. It's a lot of numbers. You must
and
dream
we've heard
numbers.
from so many agencies, where there was money that they were, whether it was grant money or program money that they, this is going back in January, where their accounts were frozen. They would have an account with the federal government and could just bring that money in, and if they hadn't done that, and I think some agencies might have even had funds clawed back. But so it's been a tumultuous time.
And when do you, as you sit on the Finance Committee, when do you look to wrap up? You're midstream now through the
June.
session.
We're probably a little more.
Yeah.
We start in January, and we go to sometime. We're supposed to have a budget passed by June 30th, but we usually try to get out a little bit sooner than that. And this is an election year, so people will be anxious to conclude.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So that they can, work on their campaigns. And
it's a busy year.
Yes.
It is a busy year.
Yes.
Now, do you have an election this year?
I run every 2 years, and I am running, yes.
So it's busy.
If I haven't announced that, I am. So
There you go.
Newsflash.
That's right. More breaking news. More breaking news,
that's
which
right.
is exciting.
Yes.
Now, just kind of shifting gears a little bit and thinking about what does your average day look like? Explain to the community members that watch this program. We understand that you sit on the finance committee and all of the ins and outs of that important role. Tell us about the logistics of how does your week look?
Sure. We are a citizen legislature, so the majority of members have day jobs, let's say. So I own a business in Portsmouth, so I am frequently working on that in the morning.
Yep.
I work from home so that I can bounce back and forth, because sometimes doing a Zoom or taking a phone call with advocates or working on legislation at the same time, I have to be very flexible, bouncing back and forth. But then around 2 o'clock on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I get in my car and I drive up to the State House. And I've been chairing a couple of study commissions as well. Those kind of take a break. They slow down a little bit during the main session, and a lot of that work happens in the off session. So
you're busy.
I'm very busy.
You're very busy, and then after, so you're running a business and part of a business here in Portsmouth.
Yes.
And then you go over the bridge and head into Providence.
Yes.
And you sit on the finance committee.
Yes.
You go 3 days a week.
Yes, 3 nights a week. So we have regular sessions on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And committees meet on any of those days, but the finance committee meets Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday for the majority of the time we're in session.
That's great, and that's during session, and then you partake in the study sessions outside.
Right. Yes, and study commissions are outside of all of that. That's like if you want to do a deep dive. I'm on a study commission on short-term rentals. I'm the vice chair of that. I've been chairing a study commission on sea level rise and climate change and the impacts to the state. I am probably going to be chairing. I have a couple bills in for 2 new study commissions.
Okay.
One on sludge.
Oh, that's a topic.
It's a very big topic in North Kingstown right now, but it's really a statewide issue. Because all the biosolids in the state have been going to 2 incinerators, a small one in Cranston and then the main one in Woonsocket. But the one in Woonsocket is closing. And so the question of what are we going to do with our biosolids as a state is a problem that needs to be solved.
Addressed. It has to be addressed. And is there an urgency, sense of urgency around this?
Yes. We probably have, at the long end, maybe a 3-year window to figure this out. And what brought it up to even be a more immediate challenge is that there was a proposal at Quonset to put in a pyrolysis reactor to handle biosolids. And that's a new technology, and the people of North Kingstown were not aware of it. So when it was revealed to them, I had already agreed to do the study commission before I knew anything about this Quonset North Kingstown thing, but that kind of erupted. The town is unhappy. Maybe there's been threats of lawsuits going back and forth. Quonset has paused their plan until we have this study commission, but there is this company, a Rhode Island company, that's interested in building this reactor. And if we're not going to, if we decide that's not the appropriate technology, then we need to figure out something else. So this study commission will look at a number of technologies and the cost and try to make a plan for, and how do we cite anything that we come up with if we, what's the appropriate citing requirements? Because right now we have an energy citing board for electrical power generation, but we do not have anything like that for for wastewater biosolids.
Okay, so that's a conversation that you didn't even know it was going to open up other areas that, and here you are, so it's timely. It's very timely to have that conversation. So you might be talking finances in one part of the day and then sludge another part of the day.
And the bills that you hear are so many different topics. You know, we, especially on the Finance Committee, we'll hear one night will be on healthcare, and we'll probably hear maybe 20 different bills all around healthcare. We'll have one night on different energy proposals, another night on housing. You know, there's so many different topics that touch the Finance Committee. And then there's some that are very odd.
I can only imagine. I actually was in New Hampshire when I came out of college. I think we talked about that. So I know just enough about politics, and I learned a lot when I was there. So the day, and you just don't know what's going to cross your desk.
That's right.
And it's always very interesting, and you have to really be passionate to be able to give back to your community, and you've been doing this for so many years and looking to continue, so it's exciting work. I would imagine that every day is exciting and different, and it just moves very quickly, and having
very interesting
and the dedication too, that you serve, and you're there at running a business and being a legislator at the same time. And so you have many different hats. So what's your most recent hat that's very new and exciting and just happened, I think this week, maybe last week?
No, this week I became a grandmother for the second time.
Oh, congratulations. That's so exciting. You're welcome. You're welcome. Baby boy or baby girl?
Baby boy.
Okay.
9 pounds, 10 ounces. His name is Ridge Ellsworth Kavakis.
What a wonderful name.
I got to announce him on the house floor yesterday, so that was exciting.
So exciting.
My other grandson, Wilder, he was born in September, and we're not in session then, so he didn't get the same, I wasn't able to do the same thing for him.
Oh, that is really, what an exciting week for you to welcome in Ridge, and your daughter is well, and
everybody's healthy. She's going home today from the hospital, so
that's exciting. Do you have any plans? Do you think that maybe your grandchildren someday might run for office or follow in your footsteps?
I have no idea. I know my daughter is not.
That's fantastic.
I have no idea about the younger ones. We'll see.
I'm sure. And so right now, if you could name 3 things that you're focusing on, say in the next month, what would those 3 things be right now?
Well, it's probably time. I have quite a number of bills. So my priority bills, I will say, I've had one that I've been working on for a while with Rhode Island Energy around geothermal.
Okay.
And so one of my priorities is getting this bill that I've been working on for many years passed this year, and it would be like requiring a demonstration project, and then I have a companion to that, which is some funding, which maybe would be included in one of the bonds. The governor has a number of bonds. I think he has about $600 million in bond proposals.
Okay.
And we are looking to add $10 million to one of his bonds that is specific to renewable energy, and that would be earmarked for a demonstration project of geothermal somewhere in the state.
Very good. So working on geothermal.
Yeah, so that's one. And I have had a municipal composting bill that has been on my, I've been working on that for a number of years, and I would love to have something concluded with that.
Sure.
And then I am kind of known in the House for shoreline access. I had a big bill several years ago.
Tell me what that means, shoreline access.
Well, the Rhode Island Constitution guarantees all Rhode Islanders access to the shore, but we never really had a statute that that confirmed this. That it was not in statute. It was like a promise over here in the Constitution, but not really in the law. So I had chaired a study commission several years ago, and we passed a law, and that law is active now. There is a challenge to it in in court, but the judge did not make us stay the law. So the law is still active right now, and it allows Rhode Islanders 10 feet from the visual high tide line to have access. And the Constitution talks about being able to swim, fish, collect seaweed. That's a big Rhode Island thing.
I love
from the shore. So those things are in the statute. And you know, the majority of the people really love this and we're very supportive, but there are property owners right along the shore, maybe not so much so, but it's I don't want to say an easement, but kind of like a right-of-way, a shared space for the public and right along the shore.
Absolutely, and being the ocean state.
Yes, so we are the ocean state. Right. So since that bill's passed, Senator Gu and I, she's from Westerly, we have been working on smaller bills to protect right-of-ways, or when a town abandons a road, that instead of just right now, the way our statute reads, that if a town doesn't want to maintain a road, doesn't want to pave it, and they choose to abandon it, it goes to the abutters. But we've had a bill in to have it go to a right-of-way, a walking path or something could be preserved, especially if there's a historical use there.
Usage.
So we're trying to protect existing paths. Some are not on the shore, but many of them are. So that's something she and I have been working on for a number of years with various bills. Or parking at right-of-ways, that if a town is going to eliminate parking, that they need to have a hearing, and that if there's a new right-of-way, that it has to include at least 2 parking places.
Right.
So
to maintain that everyone has access to that shore.
Right, because if there's a right-of-way, but you can't park anywhere, you have to park, a mile away to get to that.
It's not really, what is access, right? And then defining those areas.
It's challenging because, some of it, this is we're municipal and,
so many conversations to be had. Representative, this has been so informative. I mean, we've only had 20 minutes to be able to chat, and I've learned so much. And I can't even imagine what your day-to-day is like and all of the good work that you're doing. And on top of it all, congratulations on becoming a new addition, Ridge, to your family, which is so exciting. And so do you have a name that you go by?
Oh, me?
Yes.
Grandma Terri.
Perfect, Grandma Terri. Then thank you so much again for popping into Portsmouth and having this conversation with us.
Very nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well. Thank you again.
Thank you for having me.
And thanks for joining us.
The Newport Navy Choristers is a local choral group associated with the military that raises money for local 501c3 organizations. If you would like to join us on our journey and learn more about us or become one of our sponsors for a concert to benefit your organization, please visit us at www.newportnavychoristers.org.